Archangel Michael says, "Open your heart right now and hear this message with full attention, for it carries the weight of truth, protection, and a warning that cannot be ignored." You have been feeling the sensation of unseen eyes on you, the chill of being observed even when you thought you were alone, the strange moments when your instincts whispered that someone was following, watching, or collecting information about you. This was not your imagination, and it was not paranoia. It was real. A private investigator has been caught watching you, and heaven has intervened to expose what was hidden in the shadows. Listen carefully, this private investigator was not acting alone. He was sent by someone close to you, someone whose name you already feel pressing against your thoughts, someone who wanted to know your movements, your plans, your relationships, and your secrets. But what they didn't understand is that your life is guarded by divine eyes far sharper than human lenses. Every step you take is shielded by angels, and the moment this investigator dared to cross into your atmosphere, Archangel Michael himself raised his sword of fire and made his presence known. That is why their plans were interrupted and why this investigator was caught before they could move further against you. The truth is this: they wanted to build a case against you, not in the courts of law but in the courts of manipulation. Someone wanted to use your past, your present choices, and even your vulnerabilities as weapons to control you. They thought if they could gather evidence, they could trap you. But Archangel Michael says no chain of deceit, no surveillance, no shadowy pursuit can capture a child of light. The very act of them spying on you has now turned into their exposure. The one who sent them is trembling right now, because what was meant to remain secret is being dragged into the light. Archangel Michael says, "Do not be afraid. This exposure is not for your harm but for your deliverance. You are being shown what has been working behind your back so that you can step forward in freedom without blindfolds." Think of the times you felt watched, when your phone seemed to echo back conversations you never shared publicly, when certain strangers lingered too long around your space, when cars seemed to slow down near you or faces turned quickly away when you caught their gaze. These were signs that you were under observation. But now the angelic realm has blown the trumpet, and the eyes that once looked upon you with curiosity or malice are being blinded. This private investigator thought they were skilled, thought they could gather your patterns unnoticed, but the spiritual atmosphere around you made their presence heavy, impossible to conceal. They were caught because your angels never sleep. They were caught because Archangel Michael commands legions of light that expose spies of darkness. They were caught because God Himself declared that your destiny cannot be intercepted. But why were you being watched? This is the question that must be answered. The truth is layered. One reason is jealousy. Someone could not bear the thought of you rising higher, of you stepping into your calling, of you claiming blessings that are rightly yours. They feared your growth, your independence, your strength, and so they wanted to monitor and possibly sabotage you. Another reason is curiosity mixed with malice. Someone wanted to know details not because they loved you but because they wanted to use those details against you. And yet another reason, darker still, is fear, because they know you carry a destiny too bright, and they wanted to get ahead of it. Archangel Michael says, "Take heart. For every detail they thought they could gather, heaven already has a countermeasure. Every photo taken, every note written, every observation recorded is now nullified in the spiritual realm. Nothing they collected will prosper. Nothing they gathered will be used to harm you. Instead, it will serve as evidence against them, exposing the wickedness of their intentions. You may feel shaken, knowing that someone dared to watch you, but Archangel Michael reminds you, no enemy has the power to enter your space without God allowing it for your revelation. This exposure was meant to awaken you, to sharpen your discernment, to let you know that you are not imagining the attacks but also to reassure you that you are not unprotected. For every eye that tried to spy on you, 1,000 angelic eyes have been guarding you. For every shadow that crept close, a wall of fire stood taller. For every whisper of malice, the roar of divine authority was louder. Now you are being called to make a choice. Archangel Michael says, do not confront this private investigator directly in anger or fear. Instead, rise in wisdom. Keep your peace, for peace is your armor. Strengthen your boundaries, for your life deserves privacy that no human can violate. And most importantly, lean closer into the divine, because God is now revealing things about your circle, your relationships, your family, and your so-called friends that you never suspected before. Someone close gave permission for your life to be examined, and their betrayal will soon surface. This is not just about being watched, it is about being chosen. The reason you are under such scrutiny is because heaven is preparing to elevate you into a place of greater influence. Do you not see? They only watch those who carry something valuable. Thieves do not break into empty houses, and spies do not follow those with no destiny. The fact that you were investigated is proof that your life has weight, that your path carries treasures, that your presence shakes realms. The enemy wanted to understand you so they could stop you. But in trying to understand, they have revealed themselves and failed in their mission. Archangel Michael says, lift your head and be unafraid. You are not a victim of spying, you are the victor of exposure. The trap they laid for you has backfired, and the fear they wanted you to live in has returned to them. What they meant for evil has been intercepted by heaven and is being turned into your shield. The time has come for you to walk boldly, knowing that hidden plots are being revealed one by one. Do not doubt what you feel in your spirit. If someone has been acting strangely, if someone's questions about your life felt invasive, if someone's interest in your routine seemed unnatural, you were right to sense it. Trust your discernment, because that was the Holy Spirit warning you before the full truth was unveiled. You are stepping into a season where all hidden watchers, hidden manipulators, and hidden betrayers will be dragged into the open. Archangel Michael says no lie will survive the fire of exposure, and no spy will remain hidden under the light of heaven. This is your hour of revelation, and with revelation comes liberation. You will be freer than you have ever been before, because what was operating in the dark has lost its covering. And as this truth sinks in, remember this final word: your safety is secured. Your name is written in heavenly records, sealed with protection that cannot be broken. The investigator was caught, the sender is trembling, and you are rising. Do not fear what was behind you, rejoice in what lies ahead, because your destiny is unstoppable. Archangel Michael says, hold this message in your heart, for it is not just a warning but a promise. You are watched, yes, but by angels greater than any spy. You are followed, yes, but by blessings greater than any curse. And you are chosen, yes, chosen to shine, to overcome, to walk untouched through the valley of shadows into the mountain of glory. Archangel Michael says, I come again to speak over your life because the first message was only the beginning of what heaven wants you to know. The story has not ended with the private investigator being caught, it has only started to unravel. What was exposed was not an isolated act, it was part of a chain, a web of hidden monitoring that has been woven around you for longer than you realize. But hear me, child of light, the sword of heaven is severing this web, and no trap will hold you in bondage. You must understand the depth of what has been happening. The investigator was not just watching your movements, he was tracing your connections. He was studying who you trust, who you spend time with, who you communicate with, and how your patterns could be manipulated. There were attempts to read your habits like a book, to turn your life into a case file, to treat your existence like evidence. They thought they could gather enough to control the outcome of your story. But your story belongs not to them, it belongs to God. The investigator thought his eyes were sharp, his methods flawless, his trail invisible. But he did not realize that you are never alone. Every time he lingered in the shadows, angels flanked your side. Every time he wrote in his notebook, the ink dissolved in the spirit realm. Every time he pressed record, his device was scrambled by the frequency of heaven. His work was in vain before it even began, because the watchman of your soul is stronger than any earthly surveillance. But what is more important is why. Why were they watching? Why did someone hire a stranger to dig into your life? Archangel Michael says, the root of this action lies in fear. Someone is afraid of you. Afraid of your light. Afraid of your growth. Afraid of what will happen when you fully step into your purpose. Instead of facing their own shadows, they wanted to shine a spotlight on yours. Instead of rising through their own efforts, they wanted to pull you down by exposing imagined weaknesses. There is someone who has been speaking your name with bitterness. Someone who has been watching your progress not with joy but with envy. Their heart has turned into a well of suspicion, and from that well they drew the poison that led to this act of investigation. They thought, if I can know everything about them, I can control the narrative. But Archangel Michael says the narrative is already written in heaven, and no human hand can rewrite what God has decreed. You have been sensing that someone was acting strangely around you. Their questions about your life were never casual, they were strategic. Their sudden interest in details of where you go, what you do, and who you are with was not for care, it was for collection. And when they could not gather enough through their own eyes, they hired another. But what they did not anticipate is that heaven always reveals betrayal. Nothing stays hidden for long when the light of God is burning in your path. This exposure is a gift. Though it may shake you, though it may make you wonder who can be trusted, it is better to know the truth than to live in blindness. You deserve to live without the weight of unseen eyes. You deserve to walk without feeling the shadow of another following. And so heaven allowed this investigator to be caught, not because they were smarter than you, but because you are too precious to be left in ignorance. Archangel Michael says, you are entering a season where secrets will fall like broken glass at your feet. One by one, masks will slip. One by one, hidden motives will be revealed. One by one, those who worked behind your back will find themselves exposed in front of you. Do not let this frighten you. Instead, let it strengthen your resolve to walk boldly. For every person who plots in secret, there are 10 angels standing in the open, ready to guard you. Think of this moment as a breaking point. What has been working against you in the unseen is now collapsing. Surveillance, jealousy, manipulation, control, these are chains the enemy tried to wrap around your destiny. But each chain is being shattered by the fire of divine justice. No plan to track you will prosper. No attempt to control you will succeed. No hidden watcher will remain hidden any longer. You must also know this. The one who sent the investigator is now facing consequences. Their name is being whispered in the winds of exposure. Their mask is slipping. They will not be able to hide behind lies much longer. What they thought would remain private, their intention, their manipulation, their deceit, will become public. Their shame will be louder than their schemes. And you will see with your own eyes that those who rise against the children of light are always brought low. But Archangel Michael says, do not waste your energy on vengeance. Do not let your heart be filled with anger or desire to repay. For that is not your battle. Your role is to rise, to walk in wisdom, to strengthen your spirit, and to keep pressing toward the destiny that frightened them in the first place. Their act of spying is a testimony of your greatness. Remember this truth: people do not watch what they do not fear, and they do not investigate what they do not value. Your life is valuable. That is why it drew such attention. You are moving into a time where your discernment must sharpen. Not everyone who asks questions deserves answers. Not everyone who smiles is truly a friend. Not everyone who shows up means you well. Be wise as serpents but gentle as doves. Guard your inner circle. Protect your movements. Share less with those whose intentions you cannot confirm. Your silence will be your shield, and your prayers will be your weapon. And yet, Archangel Michael says, do not let fear rule you. The purpose of this revelation is not to trap you in suspicion but to free you in awareness. You are not in danger, you are in deliverance. What was meant to remain unseen has been shown to you so that you can walk in victory. Trust that you are surrounded by protection, for even now as you listen, angels are stationed at your home, around your life, and in your atmosphere. You are not vulnerable. You are guarded. The investigator is no longer the problem, they have already been stopped. The focus now is on you, how you will move, how you will rise, how you will respond. Take this as a divine alarm clock, waking you up to a deeper level of spiritual readiness. For the attacks that once worked in darkness will no longer succeed, and the watchers that once tried to observe you will find themselves blind. Archangel Michael says, you are being lifted into a place where even those who try to spy will not understand what they see. Your life will move beyond their comprehension. Your steps will become unpredictable to them but divinely ordered by heaven. They will look, but they will not perceive. They will listen, but they will not understand. For your path is not written in earthly files but in heavenly books. Now take this word into your heart, you are chosen, protected, and unstoppable. Your life is rising into a season of clarity. Your enemies are stumbling into exposure. And the investigator who once thought he could study you has become proof that heaven watches over you more closely than any man ever could. Archangel Michael says, lean in, for the Spirit has not finished speaking over your life. What you heard so far was only a glimpse into the unfolding truth. There is more hidden behind the veil, and I am commanded to unveil it layer by layer until you see clearly why this investigator was caught and why this moment in your life is more important than you realize. This investigator, who thought himself clever, was more than a man with a notebook and a camera. He carried an assignment, not just from the one who sent him, but from darker forces whispering through envy and malice. He was not simply collecting information, he was attempting to write your future for you by observing your present. But the power of heaven has cancelled that assignment. His notes are nothing but ashes. His photos will blur. His memory will betray him. He was caught not only in the physical, but in the spiritual. Archangel Michael says, think back carefully. How many times in the past weeks did you feel uneasy without explanation? How many times did you look behind your shoulder, sensing someone there but seeing no one? How many times did your spirit feel restless at night, as though someone was pressing into your atmosphere? That was not anxiety, it was discernment. You were feeling the presence of an intruder, and your soul knew it. Heaven was whispering, be alert, you are being watched. But because your heart is pure and your focus has been on survival, you doubted yourself. Today, that doubt is removed. You were right all along. Now hear me, the person who sent this investigator underestimated you. They believed your life could be mapped, reduced to data, and used against you. But they did not count on heaven's interference. They did not expect the commander of angelic hosts to expose their plan. The very act of trying to spy on you has backfired, and now they themselves are the ones under observation. The tables have turned. They wanted your secrets, but now their secrets are pouring out. They wanted your steps traced, but now their steps are being tracked by divine justice. Do you understand what is happening? You are being elevated, and elevation always draws attention. When someone carries a light as bright as yours, moths are drawn to it. When someone carries a treasure as valuable as your destiny, thieves seek it out. But Archangel Michael says, "Let them come, for they will always fail." For every pair of human eyes on you, there are 1,000 angelic eyes guarding you. For every scheme of darkness, there are counterplans of light. For every act of betrayal, there is a louder act of redemption. This is why you must not sink into fear. Fear will paralyze you, but knowledge will free you. Now you know the truth, you were spied on. And now you also know the greater truth, you were rescued from the outcome of that spying. You were caught in the center of a plot, but heaven has placed you in the center of protection. Archangel Michael says, the one who sent the investigator is already unraveling. They may look calm on the outside, but their spirit is trembling. The exposure has already begun. What they tried to hide is surfacing, and the shame of their actions will weigh heavier than their malice against you. Soon, you will not need to question who it was, their identity will fall before you without you searching. What they wanted to keep in the dark will rise to the light, and you will stand as the witness. Now I must tell you this, there are still watchers. Not investigators with cameras and pens, but watchers in the spirit. Envious hearts, jealous spirits, restless souls that cannot stand your progress. They may not walk physically in your space, but they speak your name with intent, they imagine your downfall, they hope for your ruin. But Archangel Michael declares, their hope will rot. Their wishes will return to them. Their jealousy will choke them. You are shielded. Do not waste your time looking for every hidden enemy. That is not your burden. The one who caught the investigator will catch the others. The same God who exposed this man will expose the unseen ones. Trust in the process. All you must do is stay steady, stay grounded, and walk forward without fear. Remember this, being watched means being valuable. The enemy does not send spies after the empty-handed. He does not chase those who carry nothing. You carry destiny, you carry calling, you carry blessings, you carry influence. That is why you were marked. But what they marked for harm, heaven has marked for glory. You are moving into a new stage. This stage will not be hidden, it will be public. Your success, your healing, your restoration, your blessings will shine in the open. And those who once spied on you will be forced to watch as heaven blesses you. But this time, they will not have the power to stop it, twist it, or control it. They will watch powerless as your table is prepared in the presence of your enemies. Archangel Michael says, strengthen yourself. Prepare, because what comes next will test your faith. Not everyone will celebrate you. Some will try again to find ways to control you. But their tools will break. Their eyes will be blinded. Their hands will be tied. Their voices will tremble. The same God who exposed the first watcher will expose them all. Now hear this blessing, you will walk with new discernment. Your spirit will know before your eyes can see. Your ears will catch the false tone in their voice before their words are complete. Your heart will sense betrayal before their actions unfold. You will no longer walk blindly. You will walk with the fire of awareness. And with this awareness comes freedom. Freedom from manipulation. Freedom from monitoring. Freedom from the fear of unseen eyes. From this day, no one can watch you without being caught. No one can follow you without stumbling. No one can try to invade your privacy without heaven sounding the alarm. Archangel Michael says, the truth has come, and the truth will keep coming until you are fully free from every hidden scheme. Rejoice, not in their downfall, but in your deliverance. You were watched, but now you are guarded. You were followed, but now you are surrounded. You were targeted, but now you are untouchable.